Another speaker has come to us riding the wave of Symfony's popularity. He has just reached Visua, but is still wondering what happens when you just ride the wave. Now, he's going to get down to smothering the project in all its Symfony goodness. The scent is already starting to spread. Let's explore some of the rapid application development practices that Symfony has to offer. We're going to get the mindset we need and get familiar with setting up Symfony according to the book. We'll develop an MVP using the MakerBundle and close the gap to an MLP using Symfony UX. Live demo included. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Kuipers.
Hi. Wow, okay. I don't know what to think about that intro. Did it say smothering? Was this exactly the abstract I put on the website, or was it modified?
I think it's slightly modified.
Slightly modified. It said something about smothering it in Symfony goodness, and that the scent was already, I don't know, whatever, it's okay. Good to see you. I was going to start this talk by complaining how yesterday it took me about 14 hours to get here, but I know for a fact there are some people that had way more trouble getting here, so let's just not complain, shall we? Yeah, I mean, live demo included. Stuff is going to go wrong. I can almost guarantee it. I didn't pray to the demo gods today, so shit's going to catch fire and stuff. And of course, I changed the entire talk this morning, so, you know, it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm actually going to need your help a little bit. So we have these two people here. And I need names for these two people. And, well, this is my second time in Poland now, so I want Polish names. Please give me Polish names. So we need this Mr. Business guy over here with a beard. Does anyone have a name for this person? You know, I kind of created an issue for myself. I have no idea how to pronounce things. Say again? Janusz? Okay. I'm not going to remember this. Okay, Janusz. Perfect. All right, how about this person over here, the other one on the right-hand side? Try again. Dragos? Zergos? Holy shit. Zergos. You know what? His name is going to be different every time, but that's okay. Janusz and Zergos. Yeah, keep laughing. It's okay. So, okay, we have two characters here. Janusz woke up one morning and read the morning paper, and they saw that Twitter was bought by some person. Anyone know what number, like how much money it cost to buy Twitter? A couple billion, I think. 44. Okay, cool. Anyone have that kind of money here? No? Otherwise, I would like to talk to you afterwards. I have some great ideas for you. So, yeah, Twitter was bought, and Janusz, I already forgot the other guy's name. Janusz was like, wow, that's a lot of money. And I mean, what is Twitter? Twitter is like some messages, you know, it's like a timeline, like anyone can build it, right? Right, okay. But yeah, he wants to build something similar. He also wants 44 billion in the bank. So he starts thinking, what can we build? What can we build? Okay, maybe we can build Twitter for jokes. We'll call it 10gag. No, wait, no, that's not good. That's not very original. Let's call it Chuckler. You know, like a chuckle, like haha, it's funny, it's a joke. Chuckler, and then we'll put the umlaut on the U to make it a little smiley face. There, that's logo design for you by a developer. Chuckler needs a few features. So, first thing, register and login, because we want to harvest all the data. More data is more money, right? Register and login. Post the chuckle. We want to see a list of chuckles. This is going to get annoying very soon. We want to give a chuckle a giggle, which is a like. I'm so sorry. And we want to see the amount of giggles per chuckle. There you go. These are our features. Oh, shit. What's the guy's name now? One more time. You know, the funny thing is, multiple people say it where it overlaps. I'm like, I don't know what you said. Schregels. Shrek. I'm calling him Shrek, okay? So Shrek, Janus says to Shrek, like, hey, I want this product. Can you build this for me? I don't have much money because I'm an entrepreneur and I only have good ideas and no money. Can you build this for me? And then Shrek says, yeah, sure. You know, I can do this. You know, I can apply this thing that I learned called rapid application development. Well, what is rapid application development? Well, there's a few goals you can achieve by applying RAD. You can create a proof of concept if you're unsure whether something is possible. You can reach a quick MVP by just going straight to the goal. And you can also focus on what is important, like tackling the complexity first and not being too bothered by everything. At least laugh when I drop it. It's just quiet. By just focusing on what's important and ignoring everything around it. Now, to me, you can split up rapid application development in sort of 3 different components. You have process, mindset, and code. Now, I'm not going to talk about process because this is not an agile talk. I'm sorry. Aw, so sad. No one said aw. Okay, no process. Let's talk about mindset. Anyone here consider themselves a sort of like a puristic developer, like very opinionated in what they do and certain structures? Anyone here? Nobody. We're all pragmatic. Well, you came to the right talk. I used to be very opinionated. I used to want to do things in a particular structure. I wanted everything to be a certain way because I was like that, I guess. That's not very useful for rapid application development. You want to loosen up. Be pragmatic. Just go with the flow. Go with all the Symfony goodness. Set your goals. Know what you want to achieve and make sure you don't get distracted. Very important. I think this is important in your day-to-day work, and it also applies to RAD. And adjust your definition of done. If we can cut the camera and the microphone, maybe you don't need tests. Okay, moving on. Rapid application development mindset, check. No tests, let's go. Let's zoom into the code. Now, if you Google the word agile code, nothing's going to come up because it doesn't exist. But what I mean by agile code is code that's ready to change, code that's flexible, code that's plug and play. But I'm not saying throw the entire book of design patterns at it. That's too much. We just want to apply the basic things that we learned, just our basic adapters and such. And if you do end up writing something that's complicated, that's maybe dirty, make sure you isolate it. Put it somewhere so that later on, when you do go towards that 44 billion mark, you can fix it. You can refactor it, make it better, right? That's what I mean by agile code. Code generation. Anyone here not a fan of code generation? We love code generation. Wow, this is spot on. Okay, so embrace code generation. Again, I used to be someone who didn't like code generation because it didn't line up with the way I wanted to structure my code. But I learned to embrace it a little bit, and it made me more productive. And that really helps when you're trying to do RAD. All right, let's get started. You need a few things. We're going to need PHP, obviously. We're going to need Docker and the Symfony CLI. You can just install it if you're using Linux. It's easy. Mac, it's easy. Windows, good luck. It's probably easy as well. I don't know. So let's go ahead and use the Symfony CLI to create a new application. We do Symfony new Chuckler, and we make it a web app. Now, I hope the Wi-Fi is good. I'm just kidding, it's a video. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so once you've done that, it basically creates a Symfony web application for you. And these are the files that you'll be stuck with. And this is what's sort of included. In this case, We get Symfony 7.1 because I did it this morning, so I know Symfony 7.1 comes out of it. We have Symfony Messenger. Symfony Messenger, for those who don't know, oh, actually, I should probably ask. Anyone here who has never touched Symfony before? Again, can people raise their hands? Like, does it work? Okay, it's like no one has raised their hand for any question yet. Okay. Anyone here who's touched it maybe once or twice but doesn't use it day to day? Okay, you do have hands. Awesome. Anyone here who considers himself like a senior, like a veteran Symfony developer? A few people. Awesome. 2 hands. Yeah, me. All right, cool. So, okay, for those who don't know, Symfony Messenger handles things in the background, right? It can, well, actually, yeah. Well, not necessarily. There's a few different transports you can use, but mostly it's used for like asynchronous processing and such. By default, if you want to send an email in your Symfony application and you don't run your consumer, the email won't send. Please raise your hand if you've run into this issue before. Yeah, okay. Very frustrating. There you go. I'll stop asking you to raise your hands. I know you're tired. Symfony Mailer, you'll have Doctrine, we have Twig for our templates, and we have our compose.yaml. Like, it also creates a compose.yaml with some services in it. Now, before we can actually get started, we need this messenger. We need the consumer to run, and we need Docker Compose. Now, there's this cool file that we can create, .symfony.local.yaml. This is a file that the Symfony CLI understands, the Symfony server start command understands. And we can specify some workers here. So we have a worker, our messenger consume async. The command is Symfony console messenger consume async. And then it also watches. So whenever a file changes in the config directory, source directory, and so forth, it'll restart itself. So we don't have a consumer running on old code, and we test it, and we're like, why isn't it working? Oh, I forgot to restart my consumer. And Docker Compose. This is all you need. Now it'll just automatically do the Docker Compose up for you. Now, let's see what happens here. We'll do a Symfony server start. And you can see it tries to start the web server, the application, and it tries to start Docker Compose. Now, it's going to wait for Docker Compose to be healthy. So database running, well, that's it, database running. And once it's healthy, it'll start the actual consumer. There you go. And then it's going to spam the annoying listen messages. Yeah, it's like it's listening for new messages to come in. Cool. Okay. So we can do Symfony server start, and then we're left with this Symfony 7 welcome screen. Beautiful. Now, let's talk about code generation. So we have the MakerBundle, and the MakerBundle makes a lot of these things available. So we can create authenticators, controllers, entities, fixtures. Well, there's a whole list. I'll scroll down for you a little bit. Twig components, a validator, even a webhook. So there's a bunch of things. We're not going to touch everything. We're just going to do a login. That's our first feature. So we'll do a Symfony console make user. We'll do a Symfony console make security form login. Then we want to require the verify email bundle because we want to make sure that the email address is verified. Reset password is a nice feature to have. We'll create the registration form. We'll create the reset password. We'll make a migration, and then we'll execute the migrations. Now, I know this is a long list of commands, but I'll show you what it does in a second. And when you do git status, after all of that, you'll be left with this. It generated some templates, a controller, form, entity, and it changed some configuration files here and there. So let's check it out. And this is where everything goes wrong. Oh, well, that's the first thing that goes wrong. There we go. Okay, so I don't need to do a git pull. I don't know why I thought I did. I will start the application. So we'll just do a Symfony server start. Oh, don't show me those errors. We don't want errors. That's not nice. And we'll go ahead and view the code here. sorry, we'll go ahead and open up the application. Perfect. So we should, and I say should, have a login. Now I'm going to make sure the migrations have run, so I'll do migrations. For those who don't know, you can shorten commands in the Symfony CLI. As long as it's unique enough, it'll match. So I wrote there doc make, but that's just doctrine migrations migrate. Oh, beautiful. No applause. Okay, we tried. Oh, yeah, there it is. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's register. Since we're now called Shrek, because I can't pronounce the other name, we'll register as Shrek at juggler.com. And yes, I do own that domain name. And yes, you can buy it from me for 44 billion. So we'll use the password hunter1. I've learned that's a good password. Oh, no, this is fine. It's fine. I've been here before. We'll just do it again. Oh no, the user might already exist now. Oh god. Shrek. I think the user already exists. I could, yeah, but also I know the password. The only thing I didn't do is it didn't send me the email. So normally it would send me an email to this webmail here, which by the way, it was they use Mailpit instead of Mailhog now. It's a bit newer, but there would be an email in here saying, okay, verify your email. We don't have that. That's fine. We'll just move on. Let's see if we can at least log in. So let's log in as Shrek. Hunter1. Yes. Oh, it works. Thank you. Okay, we're not there yet. Cool. Okay, well, that's our first feature done. Easy peasy. Now let's actually introduce some chuckles, our core functionality. Make this a little bigger. I'll move this to the top so everyone can see it. So we're going to need a new entity, right? So we're going to do make entity. We're going to call it a chuckle. And no, not yet. That's a spoiler. We'll give it a property called message, which is a text. We can put our message in there. No, it should not be null. We'll add another property called author, so the person who actually wrote it, which is a many-to-one field where multiple chuckles belong to a single user. We'll add our user class here. Should it be null? Nope. Do we want to access chuckle user get chuckles? Yeah, sure. That seems useful. Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to delete orphaned? It always sounds so horrible when they say that. No, leave the orphans alone, please. Let's see. And of course, we want to know when it was written, right? When it was posted. So we do create it. It already knows that created add is probably a datetime immutable. So perfect. Thank you. Nope. I think we're done here. Cool. So let's go ahead and actually make the migration because we have a new entity. It needs to be persisted as a table into the database. And let's do a make CRUD. So this is going to create the whole controller with the create, read, update, delete. This will be for our chuckle class. Chuckle controller sounds good. It's domain-driven design, right? We're using the right words. No twists. Don't be stupid. Okay. Let's see here. I need to actually, did I run the migrations? I didn't, did I? Are you paying attention? You say yes. Are you saying yes to, no, I didn't execute the migrations. I made the migrations, I didn't execute it. Okay. Oh, please. That was weird. Okay. Beautiful. Chuckle index. We can create a new, oh no, that's not good. So we can create a new chuckle, but we can fill in the message, but also when it was created and the author, like we don't want that, right? We want to have that be implicit. So let's slightly tweak our code. We'll go to our form first, because this is what I generated. We'll get rid of this created add and author stuff. We'll go to our entity, to our chuckle, and we'll create, as you can see, it created the entity quite nicely, uses attributes everywhere, which is good. We'll just create a constructor. We'll accept a user object, which is our author. And then the created add will just be datetime immutable. There we go. Now in our chuckle controller, in the new action here, again, this is all generated, right? I didn't write this. We have our new chuckle. We need to make sure that we're passing the logged in user, so this get user. Cool, okay. I was going to ask, give me a good Polish joke, but there's no way I'm typing that. Give me a good English joke, please. Make it easy for me. How do I type it? I'm going to decide not to type that. You know what? I'll just use my own jokes. It's fine. I know a good GDP joke, but you wouldn't get it. You probably wouldn't get it. Oh, I almost messed up the joke. Probably wouldn't get it. Oh, please save. Yay! Awesome. Cool. No, that's great. I mean, we're almost done. Post to chuckle. This works. Yeah. Sweet. Well, okay, so this is very, very simple. I don't think I can get away with this, to be honest. It's the minimum viable product. It works. I mean, the functionality is there. But do we love it? Everyone's like, no, shit. We don't love it, right? There's no wow. There's nothing interesting about it. So I learned this from a friend. He calls it a minimum lovable product, right? It needs to be nice to use. It needs to give you all these tingly feelings. Okay, that's too much. But minimum viable product, it works. Minimum lovable product, it's pretty and nice. But yeah, it still works. Well, yeah, I mean, there's products out there that are pretty and nice, but just don't work at all. Yeah. But the problem is Symfony isn't pretty. I mean, the welcome screen looks pretty, but aside from that, Symfony doesn't really do much for you. Now, you could choose to install Symfony Encore and add Bootstrap, because we're developers. I think Tailwind is the hype now, but I don't know. But we now have Symfony Asset Mapper, which is a bit different. It makes it so you don't need Node or NPM. You don't have to bundle anything, because we have HTTP2, which can already do all the, you know, complicated terms. I don't know what it's called, like all the pushing and like the duplexing, multiplexing. I'm not a HTTP developer. So we have HTTP2, which helps, and we have this native browser feature called import maps. So what we can do is we can say Symfony Compose require asset mapper. Joke's on you, it's already in there. It came when we did the web app skeleton application thing. And then we can import map require Bootstrap. I know this looks weird. It is a bit weird, but it works. No bundler, no watcher, no webpack, no grunt, gulp. I don't know what we have. But it does mean that we don't have live or hot reloading, at least not yet. Maybe they're working on it, I'm not sure. And we also not minifying. Now, there is an argument to be made about minifying, that it's not as necessary anymore because we've improved compression, you know, things are faster now, we don't really need it anymore, maybe. Okay. It's a choice. You can make the choice. If you do decide to use Symfony Encore, and you do need to have the watcher running, you can add it to your workers, right? So it'll just be part of your Symfony service start. And if you want live reloading, so anytime you change a Twig template and you want the browser to automatically reload your page, you can put in this little snippet of code and it'll do that for you. But we're not using it. We're just going to use SMapper. So we've done our import map require Bootstrap. And now we need to make sure that the Twig form also use the Twig theme also uses the Bootstrap 5 theme. So this is a slight change we have to make. Now let's go ahead and make this pretty. Don't doubt me, please. We'll just go ahead and jump. You know, we'll just reset. Oh, sorry, reset head. Don't try this at home, please. Switch. Is that the one? Oh, God, clean. Just remove it. Everything gone. Go away. Nope, I need this one. Sorry. Okay. So I don't want to bore you with too much like coding and programming and then making mistakes and then having to go back and figure out what was wrong. So I did prepare some stuff. So let's see, go away. This needs to go in that way. There we go. So there's a few changes we're going to make, and I'm going to walk you through it. First, we need to import our Bootstrap CSS file in JavaScript, because that's how things work nowadays. I don't know. Then we have a font, which is called OWhale, which I think is a funny name for a font. We have some CSS, which is really cool. And look, it has the nesting. That's also available in CSS now. So cool. Yeah.
Wait, that's pure CSS?
Yeah, that's pure CSS. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't try it on Edge, but the rest probably works. No, I think it's supported, actually. But what do I know? I'm a stupid backend developer. We're also going to make sure that after we log in, we get redirected to the Chuckle index page, which is nice. So don't be stupid. There you go. There we go. We have our Chuckle controller. We're going to make a small change here. So we want on the timeline, like the list where all the Chuckles show, we want there to be a form so people can post a new Chuckle, just like Twitter. I'm refusing to say X. It's Twitter. Okay, there we go. Form. We'll add it here. And then when you want to create a new Chuckle, we want to make sure that you're logged in. So we use this isGranted attribute, and it checks if someone's actually logged in, if they have the role user. That's it. Now we're going to change our base template slightly. We want to make sure the viewport is set up correctly. We throw some Bootstrap mumbo jumbo in there. Nothing special, I promise you. What's this? Oh God, this scares me. Why is it like this? You know what? We're fine. It's okay. Honestly, there's a, yeah, but it's showing up as new files. There's a bug in PHPStorm. I'm not making this up. There's a bug in PHPStorm, and the div doesn't work properly, and I found out today. So we're just gonna do this, copy over it. There you go. Overwrite for all, and then we already did the other ones. So only a few changes were made here. We added some more HTML and CSS classes around it. We didn't really change too much. We did make sure that anytime we would show a Chuckle, like we would want to render a Chuckle, we would include this show.html.twig. And this is just the code for the Chuckle. That's the only interesting thing that we're seeing here. The rest, it's just some classes that we're adding. Now, I'm so scared of doing. Oh yeah, wait, the font. We need the font. The font's important. Fonts. There we go. We want the font. Oh, will. Still makes me laugh. Oh, please work. Yes! Oh, no applause again. People are like, really? We have to clap for this guy? Okay, so, wow, Chuckler, amazing. So we can write another joke, which, hi is the joke today. We say send, and it goes right there. We can edit the joke, and then we can say, haha, so funny. And then we do save, and we're back on the home page. And yes, they reversed in order, but we'll fix that later.
Didn't need a subscription for Twitter Blue.
Exactly, no Twitter Blue. Yeah, this is a free service until we have enough users, and then we ask money. Logouts, and then our login page is all pretty. Oh my god, Shrek@chuckler.com. Hunter1. Awesome. I don't want to save that password. Okay, cool. Wow, okay. All right, well, we've made it pretty. Now let's make it nice. Let's talk about Symfony UX. So Symfony UX is, should I read from the slide? Nah. Symfony UX is something that was created to add some more, I guess, better interactions, better interactivity within your Symfony application. And it's basically, it's mostly a bunch of pre-existing JavaScript libraries put together with some bridges to make it work nicely with Symfony. And there's a bunch of them. There's actually some things that aren't listed on here. They recently added UX maps, which allows you to use like the leaflet thing. And these are all existing things, right? But it's just, they made it easier to integrate and to just have it work. And they have like twig functions and everything. Well, no, no jQuery. No, I'm sorry. I don't even know what jQuery would do in this, in this context. We're not going to focus on any of this except for Turbo. So Turbo is actually a package that comes from the Rails community. It's called Hotwire Turbo. They've been using it for a while now, and Symfony has adopted it as well. And it's separated into 3 different components. We have Turbo Drive, Frames, and Streams. Let me explain Turbo Drive. So all the links and form submissions on your page now become AJAX calls. When you click a link, instead of doing a full page navigation to that URL, it's going to do an AJAX request, it's going to get the content, and it's going to replace your current body with that content. I know this sounds ridiculous. Why would you do that? But that's actually how you make things feel like a single page application. And people like single page applications. But there's some other cool things that you can do. For example, you know when you have to create like a delete functionality, but it has to be like a post, right? Because you can't really do a delete on a GET request. Well, you can, but you don't want to. So usually you create like a form around it, or you do it with JavaScript. I can't say it. JavaScript. I don't hate JavaScript that much. I like JavaScript. But you could do data turbo methods delete. This is actually going to do a delete, like an HTTP delete call to that URL, which is really cool. That makes it a lot easier. So how do you install Turbo Drive? Well, you install it like this, but again, joke's on you, it's already in the web application skeleton. It ships with it now, I recently discovered. So that's nice. So let me show you that we're actually already using it. We'll open up our developer tools. Oh, I wish I had more resolution. Okay, and we'll just, I'll just do a quick refresh. Now, don't mind that, that's a little design bug. We'll just do edit, and you can see I have my network tools filtered on AJAX requests, and you can see it's just doing AJAX requests here. Instead of doing, you know, I can do doc here. You see that? Nothing happens here. It's just doing AJAX requests, which makes it feel pretty snappy, pretty quick. All right, well, that's step 1. Now we have turbo frames. Let me see how I'm doing on time. Okay, that's going to be tight. Well, good luck to you. Turbo frames. So we have turbo frames. Turbo frames can be used to sort of slice your page into separate little frames, you know. No, not iframes, it's different, right? So we have these turbo frames that we can create within our page, and we give them separate IDs, and then any link inside it or form submission inside it will just navigate that turbo frame itself. But we can do more cool stuff with it. We can do eager loading, so we'll just have this turbo frame here. The source says that it needs to load the URL/Chuckle, and then inside it will just show a spinner. And that spinner will be there until Chuckle has loaded. Or we can do lazy loading, so when it scrolls into view, then it gets loaded. And we can also target different turbo frames, different turbo frames on the page by using these links here. And you can say data turbo frame, and then top if you just want to navigate everything. Or you can maybe only navigate a modal frame that's defined. You look confused. Don't worry, it'll make sense soon. We can turbo frame our chuckles. If we put a turbo frame with an ID that's unique per chuckle around our existing chuckle code in that show template, cool stuff happens. And I will prove that to you. Oh, here we go again. Reset head. All right, so guess the number. Oh, I guessed it correctly. That's crazy. Templates. Compare. No. Okay. So instead of, in our edit template, instead of extending the base twig templates and doing everything, we're just going to replace that with the turbo frame thing around it, right? It's just going to be turbo frame. And then on our show, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put the turbo frame tag around it. This is all I changed. I promise I didn't do anything weird in that branch. It's just that. I'm not lying. Now, if we press edit, oh. Okay, some people are excited. Yeah. Yes. Hi, this is so cool. And I didn't even touch JavaScript. I can't even type JavaScript. Whatever. Save. Ah, this is so cool. With only those two tags. Now, I think my time is coming up, so I need to continue here to the turbo streams, sorry. So turbo streams are even more flexible. You can do page updates anywhere, right? Any element that has an ID, you can target. You might think, why do we need this as well? I'll explain to you. We still have our giggles. Don't forget about the giggles. So these are turbo streams. Now, if one of those AJAX requests that TurboDrive does returns a response with these turbo stream tags in it, and a header, but Symfony takes care of that. It'll execute these turbo streams. So for the top one, it means, okay, I got 10 minutes. It's better than last time. The top one, it means we're appending an element to our elements ID chuckles. So we have a div somewhere on the page with an ID chuckles, and we're adding an element to that, to the bottom of it. We can also update an existing thing, and we can also remove a chuckle. Okay, confusion, so many things. Just a little summary. TurboDrive, it changes links and forms into AJAX calls and replaces the current HTML with the new HTML from the AJAX response. Turbo frames makes it possible to navigate frames you defined, and it works together with TurboDrive. And then turbo streams are kind of like frames, but it allows you to update any element on the page. Before we go into the demo, we're going to go into Mercure. It's French, Mercure. I'm saying it right. I can pronounce that, yeah. Shrek is just too hard for me. Mercure. So Mercure is an open protocol, and it's basically like it's an event stream in your browser. It's supported natively by your browser, that sort of event stream, the server-side events. And it allows you to broadcast things to anyone who's on the page with you, anyone who's connected, anyone who's listening to the same topic. And it's battery-friendly. I don't know what that means. Symfony Mercury. So we can install it. We can do Symfony Composer require Mercure. I said Mercury. Mercure. And we can add some things that we like. There's two general ways of doing this. First thing, and that's the easiest thing to do, is using the broadcast attribute. So we have our chuckle entity here, the existing one. we can add a broadcast attribute to it, and we specify a topic. In this case, it's chuckles. So this is just basically if you want to, how do I say this? In this topic, we'll broadcast any changes made to any chuckle, and then we can update the timeline accordingly. That's it. In our code, sorry, in our templates, we have our chuckles HTML element where they're all in there. And all we have to do is we have to add this turbo stream listen chuckles. This is going to inject some HTML attributes, which JavaScript is going to pick up on. And the JavaScript libraries know, like, okay, I need to listen to this topic, and any updates that happen need to happen inside this little element here. Now with that, we'll also get a broadcast template. So we have our broadcast attributes, and then with that, we also need a broadcast template. In there, we have a few different blocks, because in Doctrine, we can create an entity, we can update an entity, and we can remove an entity. So for each of those 3 actions, we can, what's it say, 5 minutes? Oh God, we're in trouble. For each of those actions, we can do certain things. So we have our turbo stream, we can say action prepend to our chuckles timeline. So then when a new chuckle comes in, it needs to be prepended and added to the top of your timeline. We have replace, and we have remove. And you can see I'm still using the same include chuckle show here. That makes it easy. So it's chuckle time. Yes, exactly. It's nervous chuckle time. Did I change anything? Oh, I did. Just restore those things. There we go. Yeah, I think this is already pre-prepared. So I just need to open incognito for completely normal reasons. And then close this. And then go to the same URL. So these are 2 different people, right? Now here, I'm going to go ahead and edit this. Like, oh my God, I typed JavaScript wrong. Save. Did you see it? People are like clapping like, wait, what's the edit link doing there? It's whatever. It's an MVP, who cares? Can I click it? Ooh, okay. It doesn't matter. This is fine. Okay, so quickly moving on, we need to finish our giggles, and now this is where time pressure comes in. So we want to implement giggles. Ignore this joke, it's a stupid Dutch joke. So we want to add a little span that shows the amount of giggles that we have. I'm not going to show you like the entity and stuff, because just believe me, it's there. And then we'll add a link to it, so when you click on the little smiley, it'll do a post method, a post call to the giggle endpoint. And then here we have our giggle code, toggle the giggles, and we can do publish to publish an update saying like a new giggle was added. So this is the manual way of doing it. So not the broadcast attributes, but the manual way. And we need this TurboStream template in there. And then that's the last thing I'll show you. And then I'll get off this stage because people are looking at me nervously. Git switch main, Symfony server, stop, start. If this doesn't work, then I don't know. Come see me after. Oh, this takes so long. I need a new laptop. Oh. Come on, you got it. There. Oh, no. No, please, no. No. You're laughing. It's not funny. Oh, yeah. I'm loving this. Oh, great. It's still running. Go. Oh, my. Oh, yes. Just throw it at me. Dog schema update force. I think some people are going to drag me off stage soon. We have giggles here. Okay. So this looks weird. So if I click this. No, let me refresh this. I click the giggle here. Oh my God, please. Giggles. Giggles. Let's try it one more time. Click it here. Oh my God. It just works. It just, you gotta promise. You gotta believe me. All right. It's time. I gotta go. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, come see me after. Everything is online, and thank you so much. Enjoy.
Where is it now?
Sorry?
Where